It's a story about 4 women who meet at a retreat center, each coming from very different backgrounds. And what I commonly hear from readers is that I saw myself in at least 1 or 2 of the characters, sometimes all of them. And I certainly am in all of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so that's the gift of fiction, where readers can see their own lives reflected in the longings and the hopes and the fears and the places of captivity and the sin patterns in the characters. And then those mirrors go around and we have these aha moments of, oh wait, that's not just a story about a character, it's a story about me. So some of the women who are gathering together in groups are coming together once a week to talk about a chapter and explore some of the spiritual practices. And that's one of the things about it's a hybrid genre of books where you have the fictional story, so they're identifying with the characters and seeing themselves in the characters. But then there are also the spiritual disciplines that they're invited to practice along the way. And so that's how the groups are coming together. They're talking about the characters and their journeys. They're talking about the ways they've found themselves in the books. They're practicing the spiritual disciplines together and deeper ways of prayer and connecting with God. So with Sensible Shoes, the characters are very much processing their past experience, those places of hurt and trauma, stress. For some of them, they're very significant losses. Others, we might look at and say, well, that's not a big deal, is it? And yet we begin to see how these childhood experiences impact where we're stuck. And then as the series goes forward, you get to see the unraveling of their lives in real time. And I'm hoping that readers will identify as they see the characters experiencing these losses and working through them in community, working through them in prayer, trying to practice the ways that keep us attentive to the presence of God and how God is with us in the midst of the suffering, in the midst of the trauma, in the midst of the losses, that readers will also experience the kind of hope that the characters are longing to find as well. And the reason that there's a 4th book, the reason that there's an extra mile, is that I wanted a book where both the characters could grieve their losses and see how God is moving them forward into resurrection and life. And I wanted a place where the readers could also practice, how do we grieve with God? How do we see how God is with us in the midst of what is sorrowful and painful? An Extra Mile finishes in the season of Easter. It's very much an Easter book. And in light of the Good Friday moments, in light of the losses, how are we invited to practice resurrection on a daily basis and to live into that hope? What I'm longing for readers of the Sensible Shoes series is that they have an opportunity to encounter the love of God, the depths of the love of God in profound and life-changing and transformative ways. Echoing really, my longing is the same as the Apostle Paul, who wrote in Ephesians 3 that he was praying that we would know the height and the length and the depth and the breadth of the love of God that passes understanding and yet has been perfectly revealed in Jesus Christ. That's my longing.